Growing up in my father's house, I was introduced to books long before I could read. My bedtime stories had characters that were white skinned. The short TV series I watched and the cartoons I watched mostly had characters that were white skinned. My sister's Barbie doll, of course, was white skinned. And the influence of the Western world was already in my house even before I could read and write, simply meaning that I was already tilted to love and appreciate the white skin, perhaps more than my black skin, even before I was conscious of it. But growing up, at some point, I was able to reevaluate the concept of what it actually meant to be human. Living in Africa as an African is you having your back against the hard place. Having aspirations to want to migrate or live in some other parts of the world, especially in the Western world, has been and is more likely looking like a rock. Because from what we're seeing in the news, it seems as though there is no safe place. George Floyd was murdered in broad daylight right in front of the entire world. And from the video we all saw or we've all seen, it's apparent that this shouldn't be a case of manslaughter or third degree murder as they've come to say it's going to look like. But I'm not the one to, judge or tell what is going to be delivered, what law, what judgment is going to be delivered. It's just me having a look back at my life and look back at everything that we've come to know as life as it is. There are sad things to think about this George Floyd matter, from the death itself to the violence in the street that has resulted, to the different perspectives of which people are seeing the reactions from. Some people say the violence was needed. Some people insist that violence is not the way forward, especially in this case. I'm not going to be sitting on the fence with this, because the truth is that one way or the other, we're all affected, or we are going to be affected. The sad truth is not the fact that this guy was killed in broad daylight. The sad truth is not the fact that the murderer was literally posing as if he was a hunter and the slain animal was his game and his trophy. The sad truth, and where the real sad truth is that they know, and maybe we don't know yet, but we should know now, that there's going to be a relapse and there's going to be a fallback to normalcy. And so this matter is going to be quelled, because it's just human nature to be disgruntled, to want to rant about something, but it's also human nature to have a relapse. And that's what they are banking on. A relapse in the violence, a relapse in the ideologies, to keep pushing and to keep asking for judgments to be taken quickly and rapidly. The real problem here is that in some few days from now, give or take an extra few weeks from now, all this matter is going to be quelled, it's going to die down. And guess what? There's going to be another George Floyd. And that's a sad truth. We could say different things about how racism happened and how the slave history has birthed what we have right now. But like I tell people, racism is not inborn. No one was born a racist. Racism is learned. It is taught. And so to curb racism, or let me say, we can't stop it, at least not for now. To curb racism, it's going to be more than niceties and platitudes and ads on our social media platforms and in our games, and we holding hands and showing the world that we care. It's much more than that, because that's not where racism started from. Racism is an idea. Racism started in the secret place, and it can only be stopped or curbed in the secret place. And where is the secret place? The secret place is on your dining table. What you tell your kids when you have your meal. The kind of things you show them when you're having a tete-a-tete. The mentality that you currently have, and unknowingly, or let me say knowingly or unknowingly, you share with your kids. The audacity of you to call an Amy Cooper and say that you're going to call the cop and tell them what you want to tell them. That's where racism starts from. That's what breeds it. That's what the children see and have an entitlement mentality and believe that there's not going to be a repercussion if they take your route, your style of living. So when you get home today, whether you're white or black, what you're telling your kids matter the most. If you're intentional about changing the status of the world right now into a place where we all can call it home, then you owe yourself a responsibility of not just coming out in public to say nice words and say things that you think are right to say, but when you get to your closet, when you're with your kids in the secret place that happens to be your home, what you tell your kids matter the most. How you live your life matter the most. And if we can take charge of our own lives and lead ourselves to say the right things, and to not just say the right things, but also do the right things, both in secret and in the open, then we might go a long way in curbing what is known as this monster called racism. But we are Africans. And we're not just Africans, we're Africans in Africa. So you might want to ask me, what is my own challenge with what is happening in America? Tell you what, it's my own responsibility also to be the police to you, because America has been the police to the entire world and has not done so via normal human interaction, or like we say in this part of the world. Which one be your own? My own is the fact that I have kids, and my kids are global kids, meaning that they will have the chance one day to school in any school of their own choice. Might be in America, might be in Nigeria, in Africa here, might be in Asia. But one thing we want to be starting about is that they will have fairness and justice. They will be able to speak for themselves, and they will not be judged by the color of their skin. The American dream is still far, way, way far from reality. We should seek the real change, and the real change happens right here. Because racism is not what we say, but how we think right here. You're still asking, what's my own in this? I'm going to tell you this one. Omo, the matter for granted, now war. We country no seafood chop. We dey plan say we will japa, but as it is so, we dey think and twice say where we want japa go. Na Canada we won't go. I been America won't go. I been na UK won't go. When they say today, na Brexit tomorrow, if it be Africa, we no even know. So what's the way forward in all of this? African leaders, you have a role to play in all of this. And it's the fact that until you begin to build your people by building good schools, and not just the four walls now, but by building the hearts and minds of people via mind education, then we will remain in this state of despondency where we go all arms out, begging for help, looking for aids, for assistance from outside, when truly the real change starts from within. African leaders, it's enough for us to, talk about this rhetorics of building roads and stuff that really should not be talked about. It's time for us to start looking deep and looking within. Because if we do not, every black man that happens to leave the four corners of this continent and goes out, we have this inferiority complex, which we do not as a people need. What makes them feel superior is because of what they've done in the past and what they're currently doing. So if Africa decides to build itself to be appreciated by the world and become a desirous place, nobody will treat us any less. I did plan to go crazy about this, but the truth is that there's going to be another George Floyd. There is going to be another George Floyd. For how long, we do not know. But if you truly want to curb it, we all have a role to play in changing our society, in making our society a better place for all of us to live. My name is Ojay, and this is The Dashboard. Thank you.